And we're back. We're back. Those of you who are on the pump team probably saw me, and now I'm over here with the Nightman. How are you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm loving this. Mistake on the Lake 5, right?
Oh,
this has to be one of the most hyped tournaments I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I was here at 3, and it was great. I was here at 4, and it was better. And then I'm here at 5, and it's somehow still getting better.
Right, and here we are now at 7 o'clock at night on day 2. We are coming in to the last portions of DDR doubles. And so what have you seen so far that has just kind of blown you away? Not just here, but at the organization as a whole.
I mean, just the amount of people that we have here, like there's so many people doing everything that like have experienced so many different games, just like people who you don't necessarily see at an all DDR event, right?
Right.
And you just get to meet everybody from everywhere, basically.
Right.
It's wonderful.
All sorts of different tournaments. I mean, we've got, what, 13 tournaments total?
Yeah.
Right?
We've got like...
Some of them are completed.
Yeah.
But
Pump just finished, right?
Yeah, Pump just finished. So I have to talk about Pump for a quick second before we get into the doubles. Pump was insane.
Yeah.
They did scoring changes there. We had one round that was separated by 5 points. Not 5,000, not 500, not any of that. 5 points. It was insane to see. Right? And so you see those changes coming out in Phoenix. But we're here with DDR doubles. And I was looking at the bracket with you earlier here. Some of those names are really, really sticking out as true hardcore doubles players. Who do you think is your favorite to take it from here?
Oh, that's
seeing
hard.
this stacked bracket, like it's so good. This is the best of the best when it comes to quality DDR doubles. Who do you think's going to take it?
So the big people who I'm looking at are going to be Kevbo,
Absolutely, always.
Harujun, and T-Swag.
Right.
But like, there's everyone who's in the bracket still at this point is definitely like very good. A couple of them I don't know them as much for playing doubles,
right?
But most of these players play a lot of doubles.
Oh, absolutely, and we see a lot of cross between the different games, right? So like Jag, for instance,
right?
You know, Jag's a Chitin, right, in 2DX.
Yeah.
You know, he talked about that. You know, we've got T-Swag, we've got Harujun, and we've got John Tran, who was our winner of the Pump It Up tournament, right? But T-Swag and Harujun made it to top 8. So the stamina's definitely going to come into consideration here. Do they have enough to compete at the level that is required now?
Yeah.
For what we're going to be looking for here in the DDR doubles tournament at Mistake on the Lake 5.
So I think particularly players like JQ Tran and like Harujun are going to lean into that more. They're still going to go for like harder charts because that's where they excel over the competition.
Faster, harder.
And T-Swag is definitely much more like on the technical side. He wants to probably play like 14 to 16 range.
Sure.
And just annihilate
just MA the hell out of everything. Like that's where you're going to see, right? Especially in that difference between those who play pump doubles too, right? You're going to see those who want to cross-reference that ability in the stamina, in the foot speed, all of those pieces. Whereas the people who really focus in on DDR doubles are going to be focusing in on that MA piece. So it's going to be an amazing event here. So I think we got Rocopltx coming up right now, right? So here's the card draw. And do you want to go ahead and read off the card draw for us?
So we've got Dirty Digital, Challenge 13.
Oh, that's a good one.
We've got PARANOiA Rebirth Expert 13.
Classic.
I haven't actually seen that one, so I know some of the old charts are strange. And we also have Saga Expert, which I have played, and that chart is a war crime.
Oh, absolutely. It is rough. Those speed ups and changes are going to be a nightmare for the MA players, definitely.
I mean, it's not even the speed changes. It's like the patterning is just so...
Really?
It's aggressive, and it just doesn't work normally.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to
get creative for how you how you lead into patterns, or it's just going to walk all over you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very interesting.
And then it looks like for the back 3, we got Engraved Mark, Expert 15.
This was the last.
Oh, that was the last one. Okay, so we are
pool.
just playing 3. Okay, yeah, great. I'm having to switch off of pump mode, right? I'm like looking at the other ones, and so anyways, great things. And also, a special shout out to the DDR randomizer, right?
Oh, yeah, like this card draw is such a great tool.
How helpful is this, right? Seeing these tools come into play, right? Kathan and the rest of the crew, it's an open source project. You know, a lot of people have contributed to over the years, so thank you for continuing to do that. Here we go, and we've got Rocopltx up here. Let's see how he does. So he's going to start off with Dirty Digital, right? Or is he warming up now?
Yeah, they can start. They can play the charts in any order they want.
That's good. That's good to know.
Looks like he's starting with Saga.
Okay, so he's got a negative 1.2 on his display timing.
Right, because he's used to playing white cap rather than gold.
Right, so getting that gold cap offset, getting dialed in, especially in this, it's going to be great.
It's going to be interesting to see how he handles this. It looks like he hasn't played this chart. He might have played it on A20 Plus, and the score was wiped with the A3 transfer. I'm not sure, but we'll know pretty quickly if he's prepared for what comes up. About
great MA to start as we go into 10. Breaks one, couple perfects picked up there, but still really, really good. Seeing a little bit of the slows come through. Picks up a great there, going into the green.
So this section is relatively normal, but it starts to be very specific about how it wants you to step into the patterns. Like, that's a good example. If you were trying to cross over there, it just really messes with you.
And that speed change has tripped him up a little bit there with the good, but still keeping combo.
Doing very well overall.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is where you see, even though it's a 13, it definitely has its tricky portions that can test even the best of players here. So excited to see how he proceeds through the rest of the back half of the song.
Yeah.
And there he goes, just hits, he's just skating across. It's so beautiful to see. Hits the candles over there, goes back over to the P2 side, and back over. This one does actually take you across both of the paths.
Yeah,
call out earlier.
It does. And a lot of these patterns, like, you have the double step to start them, but then you follow them through alternating. It's very particular about where to do that.
Absolutely, and Copter's really good about it, bad transitions too. You see how clean they are. Looking at his foot,
he handled that very
well. Good. This is wonderful. This is fantastic start. Great kickoff with the AA plus and the good full combo. Only a 9-1. 63-9-1 is a strong start.
Yeah. Nearly a AAA.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Very, very close. 990 EX to start. That, you know, that song doesn't have a tremendous amount of steps, but it's so tricky, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to see that in some of the charts that are going to come up, especially as we progress through to the higher difficulty levels. Remind me, what difficulty range are we looking at for this part of the bracket? Do you know?
I don't actually know offhand. It looks like what our draw actually saw.
Yeah, we're going to pull it up here right quick. Stick with us here, and by all means, like in the chat, like, you know, give some love. Give some love to these players. Everybody that comes out to Mistake on the Lake 5 is a very, very good player at Dance Dance Revolution or any of the other tournaments that we have here. This is the best of the best that we have right now. Sponsored by Higher DDR, Life 4, Concom by Emu, and Malays at Popprint. We absolutely love all of our sponsors and the incredible Round 1 staff here. So here we are, Paranoia Rebirth. Number 13, and we got the things. They're all 13s, actually.
Yeah, we're playing all 13s. It looks like the range is still 13 to 16.
Yep. Oh, picks up a miss early, but otherwise the MA is pretty crisp, but that may come back to bite him. Let's see what happens. Shrugs it right off and is gold right after that. So we're not seeing many. Picks up the great, but still tremendous MA by Pilot here. I think that these patterns are really tricky. They are super tricky.
Paranoia chart.
Yeah, it definitely has that classic vibe to it as well, where it's like, okay, we're going to make you go across the pad, and we're going to focus in on the middle a little bit here. Goes into the jumps pretty clean, keeping some great MA as we cross 160.
Absolutely. This chart is a little on the early side. You do see it. It's like he's picking up far more slows than fast.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's trying to overcompensate a little bit. Got him caught with the good there, right there. Let's hope that doesn't come back. But he's been pretty crisp so far overall, and definitely keeping combo. I haven't seen any misses come out of him at all.
Handling some of the quirks of the chart very well. Just the one.
So here we go into the back part of the song. Oh, misses a few. Struggles a little bit with those transitions.
Pretty aggressive transitions at the 13 level.
Yeah. Especially at that 190 BPM speed, you know, yeah, definitely they're all 8s, but look at this run, look at this crisp run, the transitions hits them.
Absolutely nailing the longer run there.
Absolutely, great run right there, 1127 the EX score. I think that puts him in a pretty decent position for the rest of the players that he's going to be going up against, right?
Pretty decent spot, yeah. like Harujun's probably going to beat that. But
Yeah.
I don't. It'll be interesting to see who takes second.
And how many people are coming out of this pool right here? Just one?
I don't actually know that. I probably should.
Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot a little bit there.
That's cool. I need
apologies.
to review the rules document. I was going to do that, but I was got caught up in the group
It's not like
photo
you've
and
been busy
everything.
or anything, right?
Yeah.
I've seen you flying around here. You were flying over at Pump. You were coming over here. Like, you've been a very, very, very busy person.
Trying to help out where I can.
No, and you are. It's definitely knowledgeable.
Tiku has not played yet. Rocco is our first player of this pool.
Gotcha. Yeah. And we have to give a shout out to his name, right? You know, Rocco. He's great. I love how people pick their tags, right?
Oh, yeah.
And people pick their tags. Like, it shows off such a distinct amount of personality that we have in all of our players here. And it really comes out in their play styles too, because you can almost immediately identify, hey, is this person at crossovers? Is this person good at candles? Is this person good at any of the different tech pieces that you have to have at this level? And I'm gonna really look forward to this Derby digital run. Let's see how he does.
This is a tricky one. I'll be interested to see what this looks like on doubles. I don't remember the chart.
Such a fantastic song, though. Course K rarely ever misses, if at all. I can't even think of a Course K song that I dislike. But look at how clean this is.
Course K charts with no gimmicks.
Oh, yeah, right? You know, it's not like Poseidon, right?
Yeah.
You know? So here we are. He picks up a great and a miss, but otherwise that clean hits the 16th note very good. So you can definitely feel a little bit of comfort here in this chart because he's hitting those cross pads very, very nicely. He switches it up, has no difficulty hitting the yellows. Not tripped up at all. You're definitely seeing some great mental acumen here and discipline and really just focus. Look at his feet. They're just fantastic. The way that he's moving and getting those hips like just shift and prep for the patterns upcoming. Yeah, you know, Arizona Mars called out that little stream on a 13, right? You know,
yeah.
It's interesting because you look at a 13 and it's not terribly difficult, but it does have the tricky portions that can trip up even the best of players. 880 on the EX. What did you think about his run there?
That was really good.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah,
Got a couple
53-6.
times, but yeah, 53. Like his MA on that was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was surprised by how well he handled the strain. Like that really kind of comes out of nowhere. It's only 140 BPM, but like to kind of move across like that on a 13 if you're not ready for it is a lot.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
That's it. See you next time on the dance floor.
So
let's see.
I did review the advancement structure.
Okay.
It's top player out of each pool advances, and then the best second place player.
Nice. Okay. So we're getting basically like a wild card almost format.
Kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. So it incentivizes everybody, even if you're getting, you know, a little bit behind the first place player, you can still fight for that second place because the rest of the pools are going to determine if you can move on or not.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So while we're doing a quick transition, I believe MCAT is the next player up, right?
It looks that way.
So let's take a quick shout out again to Round 1. Right, Round 1's done an amazing job hosting this event. This has been one of the most successful, if not the most successful event for rhythm gaming here inside of the stateside. I don't know if it did eclipse numbers of some of the other big majors that we've had in the past, but MOTL5 has been amazing so far.
Yeah, it's been crazy. And like, it says a lot that this technically started on Thursday, and we were just going strong all day yesterday, all day today.
Right.
And finals on Sunday. 13
tournaments run as smoothly as they have been by the Ohio DDR staff, the tremendous score staff, and all of the volunteers. Thank you so much for everything you do, not only for today and for this event, but the community at large.
Yeah,
definitely raising the game of production. You can definitely see it. Like, look at just while MCAT selected the song, you know, look right here, the layouts, the design, the presentation, the logo. It just shows a level of professionalism that is raising the bar for everybody right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here we are, MCAT MCAT's a pretty experienced doubles player.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
Definitely one that I would pick. If I was going to pick a dark horse to go into the upper levels, she would be one of the top one choices I have there. You know, has adjusted for the gold cap again. You're seeing that timing offset change right in the options.
Yeah.
Saga, let's see how she does. She's got a 976K. I'm predicting that she's going to break that record here. I think that she's going to end up in the 980, 990 range.
I agree.
Soft AAA is what I'm predicting here. Let's see what happens. Strong MA to start.
Handling these initial, like, really wide transitions
Absolutely.
very effectively.
Picks up the 8 notes with no difficulty except for one great here. Still very, very clean so far.
Is kind of double stepping some of those transitions because if they do lead you in strangely.
Right. Let's hope that that doesn't come back to bite her in the faster parts, like right here though.
Yeah.
Here we handles it very cleanly. Gets a couple greats on the slowdown, but we're still okay.
And this is really where you see speed choices be so important because you really need to know, you want to read it faster so that you can like space things out and like time things as best as you possibly can.
Yeah, get some miss right there.
But if you read a little bit too quickly, like some of these strange setups can kind of catch you off guard because you saw her have to kind of triple step that 8th note setup earlier.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that she struggled right there and then right there again. Like,
right, and it's because the chart doesn't set you up in a normal manner for a doubles chart. You can't just alternate through it and be okay.
But I am wondering if fatigue is starting to take a place as well here because she was in the pump tournament as well.
She was in the pump tournament, but I don't think she played today. I think she played yesterday. She might have advanced today too. Her singles pool was today for DDR.
I may be wrong because I did pump commentary on both days, but so I may be missing that up. But still, very strong showing right now.
Yeah.
MCAT, again, bringing it. Not her best outing, right? But still a very strong showing from the EX side. She started strong with the MA at the front, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see if that's enough to at least give her a buffer room going
and
forward.
Also see how she handles the other charts that are a little bit less rude with how they treat you if you don't step into them correctly.
Absolutely. Now, one thing that I did notice with her footwork is that whenever we go to charts like Paranoia, right, when we go to Paranoia Rebirth, I think that the way that she was moving on Saga is going to help her with some of those trickier patterns on the next charts.
Yeah, I think so.
So it'll be very interesting to see where she goes from here. So Dirty Digital, again, absolute banger from Course K. Very excited this one got picked. It's a solid challenge chart. She went with a negative 1.7 on her offset, whereas we saw Rocco go with the negative 1.3. So it's interesting to see that dynamic change as well with the A3 upgrades.
Yeah, little bits of difference in like what you're comfortable playing on, what feels good for you with that visual offset.
Yeah. And she's playing it a little bit faster than I expected her to play, but maybe it's one of those things to just kind of overcompensate and get a good feel for it, because she's killing it right now with the MA and PA.
Yeah.
Nails the 16th run, keeps the PFC going into the 80s. Oh, but unfortunately, Commentator's Curse takes it and plays again. And here we go. Still only one grade so far, I think, maybe two.
Yeah, one or two. I think it is just the one. Very strong MA here. And like that's the goal of those higher speed mods, just to really try and hone in on that MA as long as you don't.
Unfortunately, picks up the good and the miss there on that transition between the middles. But you know, is rallying, having that mental discipline to just rally back in and dial back in, even though there's a setback.
Yeah. On charts you're a little less familiar with, it's the dead spaces that are going to mess with you the most on these speed mods.
Oh, especially something like this, right? You know, where it is very, very 16th note heavy. It's hard to get in that dialed in rhythm as you continue to go. Oh, and unfortunately another miss here. Let's see what ends up happening as we go towards the end of the song. Very, very nice. Solid outing, though.
Yeah.
892 is a really good, solid outing so far.
Really strong MA. Like some little errors in specific sections, but like the MA was very strong.
And we noticed that she increased the speed a little bit, but we also noticed her slow count went up slightly too. Now, Sub is a terrible song to try to dial in on, right?
Absolutely.
You know, but maybe do we see her adjust that again as we go into Paranoia? Paranoia is 190, right? So as we go into there, is she going to adjust it down? Is she going to slow it down slightly because of no speed changes? having to dial it back in on the speed. What do you think she's going to actually do here?
I think she's probably going to try to stick as close as possible to that 560 that she was on for the 4X. So your choices are a little bit more limited. You kind of have to go either fast or slow. Looks like she's opting for 2.75. So what is that? That's going to be... So a 3X here would be 570. So opting for a little bit slower than that.
Yeah.
But probably both because of wanting to make sure she doesn't get caught too off guard by like a gap somewhere, and also maybe she knows that this chart's on the early side and we need to read a little bit slower to compensate.
But I do wonder if that mental factor of hitting too many slows last time has come into play here a little bit too. So we'll see what happens. Oh, great MA to start. Handling the transition absolutely like a boss. One great so far. Look at those cross unders. Great tech to start. Unfortunately picks up a miss there and a good, but still tremendous MA to keep her in it. Already crossing the 360 EX point.
One thing that is worth mentioning, if you're not used to playing on gold cap pads, you can kind of get lost occasionally. And with all these transitions, it's possible that's happening on some of these misses. Just kind of like losing exactly where you are on the panels.
Yeah.
It just feels a lot different from a white cap.
Few greats, but honestly, keeping combo through all of it. And the MA has been really solid so far. That may give her an advantage as we come into the end part. You know, I think it was 1,100 something for the EX in Rocco's previous run. Let's see if she can beat it. Here we go into the end. Very clean. Just handling those tricky cross unders on P1 very, very well. It's almost like a bread and butter step for her. Look at this.
Yeah, she's doing a lot of double stepping, but it's working out really well for her. She's keeping control when she's doing so, not getting too behind the patterns or anything.
Look at that clean run. Oh, unfortunately, we got a miss right there at the end. Struggled a little bit with it, but oh, there we go. 1136. That might be enough. I can't remember what the exact one was, but definitely hanging in there with Rocco.
It's close. Whatever it is, it's close.
Yeah, again, we got the slows there too, a little bit slower on that pace, which, you know, again, it goes back to what speed mod do you use for this, right? You're switching from 140 BPM to 190. It's a whole mental game of where am I going to set my speed mod for this? Where am I most comfortable? Where's my timing on this gold cap? What are we doing, right? So excited to see where it goes from here, but great run by MCAT overall. 883, 892, and 1136 total. So very well done. So we've got the Phenom coming up. I just got a chance to watch him over in Pump. He was locked in, placed top 4 over there, placed 3rd overall. Fantastic member of the community representing the new school.
Yeah, absolutely. Harujun is just insanely good at this game. Like, been playing the game since I don't even know how young he was. He's only what, like 15?
I think 15 now. Yeah, definitely. So it's been a couple of years. Started around the beginning of the pandemic, I believe, right? So if we're going off of that time frame, definitely around 11, 12, right? But it's harnessed his crap. He has a level of discipline I don't see even like older players having. Like, you know, players of my generation that are, you know, in their 30s, you know, and are like have played this game forever. June has so much discipline. You look at his face, he's locked in at all times. You can just watch him play. He has confidence in his steps and his motions. So really excited to see him play.
Yeah, same. Also curious to see if he has scores on these charts.
Yeah.
And if so, how much he beats them by. And because basically how old are these scores?
Exactly. So it's right here. You're seeing a 940 on PARANOiA Rebirth. Is that an old score? Is it a new score?
That's definitely old.
It has to be an old score. Yeah. So we're going to see how well he does here. But interesting that he opted for Rebirth first, whereas MCAT opted for it last. So it's interesting to see the strategies that they're picking out as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely clean start.
Picking up some slows too, probably that transition from playing pumps and playing on the gold cap.
Absolutely.
But handling this extremely well.
But look at this MA, right, Knight?
Yeah.
I mean, he's just absolutely crushing it. Handling the transitions like an absolute pro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we crossed into 160. Let's see where he lands here. keeps it through 223. Right there. I don't want to curse him, but he's having a great run right now.
Yeah. And on some level, right, you expect him to do well. Like, he's definitely like one of the best doubles players, I would say. In the world.
Absolutely.
And this is only a 13, but like it's a very tricky 13. Like, you saw the other players handle it. They're no slouches either. It's just like it's a very tricky chart to stay locked in on, but he's doing incredibly well.
But you watch just his transitions, the discipline to make sure that he's following through and positioning his body in just the right strength. Getting those hips in the right position. You'll see him lower himself just to get that extra boost of speed, just to make sure that he's hitting as precise as possible. Is he going to get it? Gets the piff, 423. Let's see what the perfect combo came out to be. Or perfect. Oh, wow, 18. Absolutely cracked right there.
Yeah,
absolutely cracked one. That 940 is an old score. Has to be. Absolutely has to be. So, absolutely destroys round one there. And we're going to go into, which one are we going into? Saga?
Looks like Saga.
Yeah, looks like Saga.
This might be a little bit more recent.
996. Let's see if he can get the fifth here. You know, and of course, he's playing with a -1 modifier, you know, so he obviously knows what he's doing around timing. We clearly just saw that there. So let's see what June does. I mean, there's a reason we call him the Phenom. So, opting for 2.5. You'll also notice that his arrows are not in alignment with the actual bars coming up.
Wow,
which is very interesting.
He uses that setup.
He uses the offset setup, which is
interesting. I don't think I've ever seen anyone play with that before.
But he is killing it right now. You can definitely see it. Handling all the changes very easily. Oh, did you see that transition? It was so quick. And here he goes, handling the slowdown. Very, very well done. Coming into 150 on the combo.
Yeah, absolutely locked in.
He's playing so smooth. He's loose. He's playing with like a level of confidence that you're not seeing a lot because of the level of competition. But he is just absolutely out here destroying it right now. What a great run. Here we go, crossing the 280 mark, continuing to keep the pip. Will he complete it? Into 300. Absolutely handles Saga like an absolute boss here. And the Phenom crushes it with a 353 PFC. 12. That is 12 on Saga. That is absolutely cracked. Chat, let's give it up for June. 100% right there. 2 PFCs back-to-back with a combination of 30 perfects across 2 tricky 13s. Not difficult, per se, but tricky, right?
Well, I mean, honestly, Rebirth is just difficult, and I would say Saga is too. This is definitely the easiest of the 3 charts.
Oh, yeah,
in terms of, like, what is asked of you. But, like, Rebirth, it has some gaps, but it does have all of those constant transitions, and it's a 190 BPM, which, like, that can be tough to keep up with.
Absolutely.
And, like, say, Saga has a very particular way it wants you to play around the patterns. If you try to just play it like a normal chart, it's going to chew you up and spit you out. So like I would call them both on the harder end of 13. It's not the hardest, but they're tough.
Keeping the MFC through 25. Here we go again. Dirty Digital Challenge.
Let's see this screen.
Oh my word! June is locked in. 3 perfects in on that, so far, really, really great run. Strong start to June. Let's see how he handles the rest of the chart. He is just skipping through those 16s. Oh, unfortunately picks up his first grade of his set right there in the transition.
MA on point, however. He's got, what, like 5, 6 perfects?
Yep. There's a couple more, but seriously, it's gonna be pretty low. And due to his strong start from the first 2, you know, he can give up a little bit here and not terribly worry too much. Anytime you PFC 2 songs in your set already, you know, that gives you a little bit of an advantage. So here we go. Into the jumps, hits them with 0 issues. Again, just skipping through those 16s like butter. Incredible footwork between the pads. You can see he's consistently hitting the squares exactly where they need to be landing right in the middle of the pads. It's interesting. He was hitting it with his heels more as he was transitioning through and hitting it dead center every single time. He knew exactly where he wanted to hit, when he wanted to hit it.
Yeah, and it comes from, I think, playing more on pads that are a little bit closer to stock, so you don't want to take any chances of just like barely catching an interceptor or something.
Especially with the gold cap.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just a different play style. You have to get used to it. There's a difference clearly between the gold cap and the white cap, just different places. So, yeah, exactly. He is so, so good. Ours on Mars, giving a shout out to June there. 100%. Level of competition at this area, right? This is absolutely stacked for these last 12 competitors, and I'm so excited to see where we go from here. Because if that's just a preview of where we're at, right? Yeah. That's just the preview.
Well, that's a preview of what it's going to look like in top 4.
Exactly. So it's going to be absolutely wild. So can we do a quick shout out for our sponsors right quick? So if you can shift it back over to us right quick. Again, my name is Dust, here with Nightman. Nightman is a tremendous member of the community, one of the Life4 Discord monitors, correct?
Moderators, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So thank you again for all the support that you offer the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
And while we're talking about it, special shout out to Life4, right? You know, again, providing a great area for people to grow in the community, get support with players of their level, right? And find rivals. It's a great system to go. So awesome. This is great. Shout out to Julian in the chat. What up? Thank you again for all of the clips that you were doing last night. We appreciate you, even though you're not here in person. You are here in our parts. Thank you so much, Julian, for showing up. Quick shout outs. Moasic Paw Print. Mistake 5. If you haven't used that coupon code this weekend, use it now. MoasicPawPrint.com. Let's see you. If you want any sort of apparel, if you want any sort of rhythm game merchandise, the acrylics are fantastic. Go check them out. MoasicPawPrint.com. And then, of course, ConCom by Emu, right? Everybody knows Emu. Almost a decade supporting the rhythm game community with iconic merchandise. You see them all over the place. They've been tremendous as well. Special to Black Flag Academy as well. Black Flag Academy, if you are a, not necessarily entry-level player, but, an intermediate to upper advanced level player who's really looking for a community to grow, right? To grow alongside. Again, like Life4, Black Flag Academy is an amazing resource. They personally helped me and many, many others. So here we are. We're going in. So who do we got up now?
We have Tiku.
Fantastic. So here he goes. We're going to start off with Rebirth. Okay, so each one of them are picking different starting points, which is an advantage of doubles because you get to play the ones that you want to play first, right?
Yeah. We had, Rocco started with Saga.
Right.
Did MCAT start with Dirty Agent?
MCAT started with Dirty. No, MCAT started with
Saga also.
Saga also, yeah.
Yeah. So 2 starts with Saga and 2 starts with PARANOiA Rebirth.
Yep. Absolutely. So Canada represent. Here we go. Tiku. Always on Mars showing definite support, and here we go. I have not had the pleasure of watching Tiku play just yet, so I'm excited to see where he lands. Definitely handing those, gets a great early, couple breaks early, but definitely handling those transitions and 8 notes without too much difficulty.
They're Pearl and Life4 along with Rocco.
Nice.
So
awesome.
They're both just very seasoned singles players. I'm not sure how much they play doubles, and so that's always fun to see.
Absolutely. And seeing the different styles, seeing the way that their tech is going, right? You're going to see the different ways of hitting this. Tiku's got a couple of double steps there. The way that he was handling it, didn't do the full turn, gave him a little bit more speed coming back into the other side.
Yeah, that bit of preparation for the faster patterns back and forth is huge on doubles.
Absolutely. Coming into the break here. Get your wind back a little bit while you just run through, and then here, going into the end part, I think he's going to have a pretty strong run going through here. He's hit the crossovers pretty well, double stepping a few of them, but intentionally, I think, just to keep that MA high.
Yeah.
Good and great.
The other thing is some of these you almost have to double step either in the middle of or into to start them. So just choosing where to do that and seeing where the different players do that.
It's so interesting seeing the doubles patterns and the way that they work from the early ages of something like PARANOiA Rebirth all the way into the Sagas and Dirty Digitals that we're seeing here. Yeah. Full combo, 423 right there with, I believe, a good and 4 greats. 4 greats. That's a great run.
Yeah,
absolutely.
41 and 3.
So great selection of charts, honestly. Very strong start to the set. Again, you are a mistake on like 5 here with Dusk and Nightman. We're going to continue to see this through to, I believe, the end. I believe we're staying on until the end, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I'm happy to be here with you.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, this is great.
And so, Ari's on Mars, that is awesome. That they've been like getting you into doubles and helping you improve. Like that's the kind of thing that we love in this community. It's just people who help bring people
100%. 100%. Way to cheer on your local players. Way to hop in, show love. Love seeing it. Streaming has changed the game, hasn't it? Absolutely. Supporting even from around the world at any time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like these streams are wonderful. And there's something to look back on even if you were here at the event, because you can't catch everything. There's too much stuff going on. No. So being able to really like go back and kind of review these with like the commentary and just like see what happens, like relive the moments later on. It's just like it creates these memories.
Iconic
moments. So much easier to keep with you. With VODs and everything.
Speaking of moments, Tiku's having one right now, keeping the PFC into the 170 mark. Let's see how he wraps this one up. Yeah. Nailed that 16th run note at the very beginning. Absolutely clean. Transitions are good. Oh, unfortunately, he picks up a great there on that right arrow. Let's see if he can just mentally recover from that and keep it going.
Definitely making a strong note for himself as the second out of this pool.
Absolutely, and there unfortunately was a secondary one right there. So we got 2 greats so far that I'm seeing, but handling the 16th notes very, very well. Positioning his body in the right spots. Picks up the 3rd great. That was a very strong run. I think that was outside of June, that was the only over 900 EX that we saw there, right?
I believe that's correct.
Didn't get a chance to catch it. So Tiku got a little bit over before we were able to capture the score.
901 was
901 was the EX, yeah. So we got
something.
that.
Yeah, not having a moment to actually look at the full breakdown.
You know, honestly, like I don't blame him though, because you know I get in that mode too, where it's like I'm gonna go and like just slam it. You know, it's like he was probably frustrated with some of the greats that he got, you know, whatever. But it's also just that mental memory. I want to get to the next song. I want to move on. It's that competitive nature that you see a lot at events like this, where they're just like, no, get me back on the pad. Let me hit those arrows. So what do we got left? Saga? 13. 13.
13. You passed it. It's the beginning of the S.
Yeah. So here we go with Saga being the last one from the choice. Oh, no.
Slight miscommunication.
13. It's Saga. It's
13.
It's in the 13s folder. Yeah, you're good. You're no way. You're doing great. Keep it up. All right, so now that we got it, we got him reset.
Maybe we should have gone to alphabet for a moment.
I think Tiku is just so excited to get back out there. His adrenaline is just running through and coursing through.
He was looking for the song jacket.
He was like, get me back on the pad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to stand around.
The periods in between each letter messed with the alphabetical sorting, and I think that's why he didn't find it initially.
Right. Here we go. Strong start with the MA. What I'm going to be really interested to see is how he handles those slowdowns, right?
Yeah, the slowdowns and the first few of the like 5-arrow runs that lead you in weirdly.
Yep, those ones right there handles them beautifully, especially those transitionary ones that can trip up a lot of people.
Yeah.
And here we go. Into 90 and 100 with the PFC. And he handles the speed up like a boss.
Well done there.
Adjust very, very well. So the adrenaline, not a factor right now, just absolutely controlling it, having that as
He's also reading this very fast. This is 2.75, so he's reading this at, what is that? Like 550 or above? Like it goes up to 244 at some point, so that's over 600 for brief period.
Right, I think we saw the other competitors put it in 2.25 and 2.5.
Yeah.
Oh, handles the cross. One arms it for those crossovers and then pulls it back in. This is such a strong showing, but gets the great there. Only one so far, so still doing it really, really great. No pun intended. Crossing into number 330. And that 16th note. So that 16th note, we haven't seen anybody trip up on that last note in Saga, right? They've even got a perfect or a Marv, one of the two. But that one great held him back.
Yeah.
And
44-1 is such a strong score.
It's such a strong score.
Very strong second place in this.
10:28. We didn't crack the 1100 like June did, but definitely puts him in that upper echelon for the people that are going to be fighting for that wild card spot.
Yeah.
It is going to be a tremendous, tremendous opportunity.